Now to news out of Columbia. The South Carolina Supreme Court upheld a new abortion ban.
Fox Carolina's Dana Winter live in studio to break down what this means for our state, as well as some reaction from Planned Parenthood. Dana.
Tori and Carrie, this is a story we've all here been following very closely. The court heard arguments back in June for the fetal heartbeat law. That law would effectively ban most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. It allows for limited exceptions, including to save the mother's life in cases involving sexual assault victims and for a fetal abnormality. Opponents argued the law violated the state's constitutional right to privacy. This all comes after the court struck down a similar law earlier this year. Since then, the only woman on the court was replaced with male justice, making the court all men. The new court says the updated law is constitutional. Governor Henry McMaster released a statement earlier saying, quote, "The Supreme Court's ruling marks a historic moment in our state's history and is the culmination of years of hard work and determination by so many in our state to ensure that the sanctity of life is protected. With this victory, we protect the lives of countless unborn children and reaffirm South Carolina's place as one of the most pro-life states in America," end quote. Planned Parenthood also spoke out about the law and the differences between the versions that have been struck down.
Today, the South Carolina Supreme Court upheld the state's ban on abortion after approximately 6 weeks of pregnancy, despite the fact that it struck down a nearly identical law just earlier this year in January. The only thing that changed since January is the makeup of the court, which is now the only all-male Supreme Court in the country. This decision dangerously flies in the face of longstanding precedent and demonstrates the harmful politicization of the state's highest court, which has shamefully done the bidding of anti-abortion politicians.
Coming up tonight at 5, you'll hear from doctors at Planned Parenthood and what they say can be a medical issue with this new law. And in less than an hour, Planned Parenthood will be rallying at the State House. We will take you live to that scene. Reporting in the studio, I'm Dana Winter for Fox Carolina News.